What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Draymond, and welcome to Thorium Gaming. We're back with episode 12 of Nightly Valor, our attempts to bring the light of the Lady of the Lake to the entire old world. We're starting to push on in turns, so we've got some Norskins trying to come in from the north, and, well, let's face it, it's Wulfric being Wulfric, and Sigvulf being someone that's not noteworthy, but is going to get crushed by Grimaldus here pretty quick. And we do have Alariel the Radiant, the Everqueen herself, just off our shores. That said, we have our king coming back to deal with some of the less than popular stuff that's going on up there. Lady Di, Lady Ryance, our PC along with him. Got Phoenix and our new Lord Muffin down here, getting ready to push out and do some other stuff. And we do have Schiffelroy the Devoted, who's probably going to merge his army in here and then, yeah, just go away. All things considered, we're sitting pretty good. I mean, Paravon's still being Paravon. They don't exactly like us, but they don't exactly hate us right now either. Eventually, we should be able to get them to join Confederation with us. Though that's going to require us getting a little bit stronger. And then there's Thegan's errantry down on the bottom. Let's get a non-aggression pact with them and a trade agreement if we can. More money is always good. So essentially right now we just have to see off the Norskins and then push outward from there. While we're still trying to secure Bretonnia itself, and we're going to have to go to war with Talia, because, well, yeah. Our southern reaches are kind of messy at the moment. I think what we're going to do is push to the north and start taking the fight to the Norskin shores, because it could be poignant later on. But as it stands, we already moved all our people for this turn, so we're going to have to see where Wulfric goes and what happens. So let's pass it off to the other nations and let them do their thing. And our allies in the Empire are really taking it to the vampire counts. Tempelhof and Drakenhof are both within striking distance, and that's a lot of rocket batteries. Holy crap. And a steam tank. That's a pretty tough army. Rocket batteries are just brutal to massed ranks of infantry. Cavalry can usually outrun them, but infantry tends to get clipped pretty easily. Not too sure what the Empire's overall strategy is. I mean, they've been beating on the vampires and they're strong as hell right now. We haven't even really had to deal with anything aside from other Bretonians and a few minor incursions. So we'll see how it ends up going. Eventually, the forces of chaos are going to invade from the north, and that's going to cause a lot of problems. But we'll have to see as it goes on. If we can take out a few of the Norskin villages up north, that might give us a foothold to kind of repel them before they can get to Bretonnia. But they come in pretty strong army stacks, and then they have the Servants and Slaves of Chaos, which are fleet-based armies that come in. I think one of them comes in from the southern Polar Gate, which also has collapsed, but not nearly as bad as the northern one has. Instantly, that's how Chaos got into the world in the first place. The old ones and their Slann used to have these giant gateways that channeled magic, and they collapsed and let demons in. It's a big part of the Lizardman backstory, and it's fairly cool. And he's probably going to go into raiding stance. And he probably will too. It's going to hurt our income a little bit, but it'll give Grimaldus a chance to go over and deal with him. We do have the elves that are still kinda not happy with us. And Alariel's just been going up and down our coast for a little bit. Which again, I have no idea what she's doing. She's kind of like the Pirates of Sartosa from the Light of the Azure playthrough. Oh, well, we're going to enter the war on the side of our allies, so we're now at war with Harganeth and their allies. And again, Kislev pushing so far to the south is unusual. I mean, I have another Bretonnian playthrough on the go right now, and they're completely wiped out at this point. And the Slayer King is pushed down into vampire territory too. It's interesting at the very least. Alright, so what does Wulfric have? Some champions, some horsemen, skin wolves. It's not exactly the greatest army in the world, but it's still decently tough. So Grimaldus is going to take care of him. We'll have our king come up, deal with these guys, and then deal with this and get the Sword of Corone. I'd really love to have foot squires right about now, but that's just not going to happen as it is. Phoenix is still getting a Grail Relic. Lord Muffin, we don't have a lot of income, and we're pretty shy on cash because of all the raiding. So we'll have to deal with that. We might have to leave Chiffroy as he is, because we're going to have to fight off Brionne and take it back, and then Sarsasone. What we could end up doing is actually sending Chiffroy down towards Sarsasone and see if we can get the city without having to fight over it. It's a capital building. Should be somewhere right in here. If we can take that, that'll give us another couple of infantry units to play around with and a very, very good place to build up. But I guess the big thing for this is going to be Chaplain, go take on Wulfric. He might retreat from this because he's too close to the city. Then we'll have to go in and fight the battle just ourselves. And we're definitely going to fight this one out. So we've got skin wolves, a fair bit of horsemen, berserkers, and a couple of the skin wolf werekin and a wizard, and Wulfric himself, who's incredibly tough. But we have questing knights. So questing knights do kind of equal it out a little bit. They're not so great against cavalry, but they're questing knights. They have great swords. They'll cut through most of those things pretty easily. Chaplain's force is mostly anti-infantry right now, which a little sad, but we can deal with that. And the Grail Relic will make it so that our infantry units that are around it actually get magical attacks. So we should probably put that somewhere near the center of our line. We'll let our questers go down the left flank and cut in. And our young, spry junior knights will go down the right flank. Are you even cavalry yet? Yes, you are cavalry. So we're just going to stick you at the front right edge of the line. We have no casters this time, so we're just going to have to deal with it as it comes. They're probably going to get within range of our archers before anything else. And there comes a fireball. Let's see if we can get these marauder horsemen before anything bad happens. I've always found that being slightly aggressive with the Norskins helps. Let's get that relic in there. Ooh, that's a flaming skull, and that actually really hurts. Let's get our archers focusing on one specific ranged cavalry unit. One of our Knights Errant units already withdrew, but they got hit by that flaming skull, so that flaming skull is what's really going to be hurting us right now. Chaplain doesn't have any special abilities to deal with either.
Peasant bowman! Loose! What? For Britannia! For Britannia!
Alright, so we routed the Berserkers. I'm really hoping this doesn't turn into a chase them down till they run out of ammo sort of situation.
We are ready!
Well, that kind of worked out. By catapulting off of their wizard, we got into combat with one set of Marauder Horsemen.
Peasant bowman!
Let's see if our archers can take down Wulfric just a bit. Looks like those Marauder Horsemen are getting pretty close to breaking. That Flaming Skull is just nasty.
Questing knight!
But they are questing knights, so they're hard to break.
You bid? Pull back! Understood. As you say.
Let's get our archers on that other unit of them.
Bound by honor. Withdraw.
It might turn into our infantry actually doing all the work. So our knights are getting pretty busted up.
The lion's will. Show us the foe for Our Lady. Peasant bowman.
Wulfric's not going to take any real damage right now.
Bold knight. Withdraw.
Essentially, I think it's going to be this infantry fight with Wulfric that determines the outcome of this battle.
Strength is yours.
If we can break Wulfric, should break the rest of their army.
Ready for the charge, knights! For the Lady of the Lake!
Marauder champions are pretty much foobar.
This was not meant Peasant bowman! Stick him good! Twisting knights!
Those Marauder spearmen got shot up.
Get those commoners shooting their filthy foes for the lady!
You can go back to shooting at Wulfric. Actually, is he running right back into the fight? No, he's not.
Fire!
Ooh, there's a better target. More Marauder Horsemen.
Kill him!
I'm guessing that it's the chaplain's sword that's doing all that.
Kill him with oaths! Withdraw! Yes!
Well, at least we can outshoot one army in the game.
Our masters desert us! For the king! This was not meant to be! Lady forbid if we run! The gods want! Do not Britonians attack! My knights bow! Pull back!
We've almost got Wulfric broken, though. So, if we can break him, and maybe kill this Skinwolf Werekin. Well, he's broken now.
No! My knights bow! Get away!
Come on, you gotta die before you get out of arrow range. Perhaps not.
We fight as royal companions. They battle without honor for the king.
All we gotta do is break Wulfric, and that'll be this battle won. And now what we're going to do is see about killing him off. Because if he can die, that would be great. Not exactly the stunning success I was hoping this fight would be, but we still won. Hopefully with all the little... There we go. He's done. So he'll be gone for a few turns at least. We lost more than they did. They only have 29 guys left, though. We lost half our force. Including, I think, both units of Grail Knight, or Questing Knights that didn't stay on the field. Maybe we'll keep them afterwards. I'm not really sure. But it's all good. Pyrrhic victory is still a victory. Now with luck, he'll retreat back to the Northlands. And the Wailing Banner. Grimaldus can now make a unit cause fear, and he gained Warrior, so he's even stronger as a fighter. Let's get you back into Corone, because it does have a Grail Chapel. And you leveled up, so let's see what we can do. I'd love to just straight up give you a Royal Pegasus. I really, really, really would. But for right now, we gotta go with hard to hit and get your armor and everything up. And yes, we lost all the units of Questing Knights, which kinda sucks. But not really anything we can do about it. Now, Muffin, we're gonna get you to go into an encamp stance. We'll get you a little bit of an army. So 4 takes us to 33, which will be perfect.
Blessings of the lady be upon you.
Then we'll have to save a little bit of cash to build Castle Sarsasone back up. Not really much else we can do for this turn, so let's hand it over to the others and see what they do. Then Lewin's going to deal with the other Norscan army. I'd really like to see the Empire persecute their war against the Vampire Counts a little bit more effectively. Be a little bit more advantageous to us. I mean, they wiped out almost all the goblins and everything that were in the mountains. So, that's always good. But the orcs and goblins hold Essen. It's a bit of a stretch from where they're usually stationed at. They take the Badlands and all that sort of stuff a lot. And Crooked Moon hasn't been completely wiped out yet. It's a pretty tough goblin big boss, too. So I guess Carrick Norn is the last stronghold of those guys. If we could get some travel accommodations with the Wood Elves, I think, we could swing around the other side and come up the mountains and deal with them. But that would also require an army on that front, and we don't really got it. Not right now, anyway. The Wood Elves are definitely tougher than us, which is not exactly great. It's not bad either. They're technically a force of order. And Sigvolf looks like he is leaving our lands, headed towards Marienburg. Alright, so I guess Lewin can probably just go back down south and deal with Tulia invading our borders. Or possibly deal with Lothern if they come over to try and fight us. Yes, we will take a peace treaty with at least one set of elves. That takes Belariel's presence off the board on the western coast there. Should probably sail home now. Always good to be in the Everqueen's good graces. So Talia just went to war with basically all the orcs. And I think they just did what we were hoping to do? Maybe not. But now that we know they have a very significant army down there, we're going to have to send the king back to kind of deal with it. Because we're going to fight them for as long as it takes to make sure Bretonnia is all Bretonian. Alright, so we're not going to worry about settlement upgrades right now. We are going to worry about... Let's put you back in regular stance just for a moment. And there's the castle. So hopefully they don't take it, because that would be fairly bad for us. Aquitaines and basically Bordeaux itself is suffering public order, I swear I can English, issues right now. But upgrading the building there won't help us too much. Alright, with the Norskins gone, King Lewin, let's get you on the border with Brionne. Good chaplain just gonna recoup a little bit and then possibly get some more knights under his belt fairly quickly here. We're still working on Baston's heraldry, even though Baston's in our command, because Baston got wiped out.
Welcome to fair Bretonia. Now is the
And
time
Paravan will not confederate with us right now.
Welcome, friends. Let's hope we can. I suppose so.
But we can get some military access with one of the errantry wars, which is a good thing. Gives us access to the Southlands, deserts of Arabia, but I don't think we're going to be going that route during this playthrough. That's a jump of an extra 100 gold per turn. Doesn't really help us that much. And we still can't afford a carpenter's workshop, which we're going to need at some point in the future so we can get the better archers. I guess there's really not much else we can do for this round, so we'll pass it over and then we'll see what new researches we can get. I always find it funny too when the legendary lords for the other races that have council systems end up using them improperly. Like Volkmar the Grim is the Grand Theologinist of the Empire, but he's got him as the Emperor's Eye, which is the head of the intelligence organization. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but okay. And like a treasurer, Balthazar Gelt, he should be the supreme wizard, because he leads the colleges in Altdorf. But, hey, it's the game portion of things. Not everything's going to play out according to the fluff. Do like the fact that the Empire and Kislev are putting up a very strong front, because when Chaos arrives, we're going to be so busy dealing with the things on the ocean that we may not have time to deal with the things coming from the land. Well, that's a regiment of renown set of marauders. But they're not coming back into Bretonia, so they can keep going. Especially since their pride was wounded watching Wulfric get beaten down. Good job, Chaplain. It's a good thing that we're not putting him on the ocean, because he might try to take the ship apart in this playthrough, too, like he did in Thorium Mercs. No, I'm not letting that go, Chaplain. Stop trying to take the ships apart. Oh, you better not. And you took Castle Sarsasone. Now, it's inevitable that we are going to war with Talia. Because, well, that's Bretonnian land. It's not an ideal situation. Not right now, anyway. And that's a fairly sizable army stack that's there. So we'll have to pull Shifroy back just a little bit. That is the wrong button, but we can see if we can get a confederation with Paravon while we're in here. We're not going to war with the Wood Elves. We just aren't. Alright, so we could get farriers. Improved trade vessels would increase our trade a fair amount, and it's only a single turn. Where are we going to be going next? We're probably going to be going north, and we've been fighting the Norskins a lot, so let's get the Winter Woes decree.
Guardian.
Alright, Shifroy, let's get you back into friendly territory. Because that is a fairly large army stack. They've got great swords, a mortar, some veteran handgunners. But that's not really going to stop us. So what I think we're going to do is, Muffin, you're going to mount up. You're going to come to the border here. You're going to meet up with the king. And then we're going to send you guys in. And we'll get Shifroy to come in just for the extra ground troops. Alright, so we've got Thunderbolt maxed out. Oh, you've got your chance to get Earthing. Miscasts are a big thing. Like, they suck. Badly. So in the next couple of turns, we're going to have to take out Brionne. Should not have a good garrison. Sarsasone does not have a garrison at all, essentially, at this point. Then we can push them out of Bretonnia, and that'll give us another realm that we'll have to worry about cleansing, because all the chaos corruption that's in it right now. Phoenix, you should have a okay army stack. It's not good, but it's not terrible either. We need you to kind of stay there and defend the coast.
Yes.
So if we're going to war with Talia with the king, let's get the good chaplain back his 3 units of questing knights, because they're rather important. We're already a little over on our peasant economy, but that's okay. Might send you up north. It's going to be a bit of faffing about right now. I'd love to get the Sword of Corone, but we can't really push into the forest right now, because we do need to secure as much territory in Bretonnia as we can. And that would ideally come down to having Paravon confederate with us, but we need to grow stronger for that, which means we need more structures, which means we need to start a war with Talia. And we especially don't want them pushing any further north than is possible. Damn Empire remnants sort of thing. Well, they're a separate culture, but they're very similar to the Empire in all respects. Oh, we just encountered the dwarves. So that could be a good trade deal waiting to happen. And I wonder where Karl Franz is off to. Does have some warrior priests out, which is kind of cool. I like the witch hunters, but they're heartless, evil people. Easiest way to describe them. So well, I guess heartless and evil might be the way to describe them. I'm not entirely positive on that, but they look for heresy in everything. But is what it is. Are they going after that mountain realm? Karag Zerg or whatever it is? Zorg? And of course, Helmengorst is the zombie puppet master. You should still keep going north. Away from Bretonia. That's all I want to see for the Norsemen. Oh, please be a peace treaty. Yes, we want peace with the elves. That gives us a lot more flexibility on our west coast, and Phoenix can probably come down and join the fight against Tilia too, adding his not inconsiderable military martial might, as well as the troops he's got with him. So we do have to secure that front. I wish there was a way that we could demolish cities without losing chivalry, but it's not entirely possible. And chivalry is the ultimate goal of this entire thing, so we want to build as much of it as quickly as we can, as often as we can, so we can push on towards the Errantry Wars. Not only does it give us a lot of gold for completing each level of chivalry, but we can summon the Green Knight, and he's awesome. And in turn, we can use it to do other things too. For right now, we just get +2 leadership to all our armies. Next level, we get 4 leadership and +1 rank for all our knight units, and can summon the Green Knight once. Alright, so Phoenix, you probably won't get involved in the first fight, but we'll probably have you get involved in the second. Now this could turn out to be a very, very, very bad idea. But it's got to be done. We need the territory, and it's Bretonian soil. So we'll send the king in to siege the city and bring some allies in to help support him.
Smite them! Protector of the realm. Lord,
So let's get you guys in.
for glory. The lady.
It's well outside our fight it out range, so conquer it. Barely lost any troops. 174 total over a lot of units. And we're going to occupy it.
The lady wills it.
And Lewin got superior attacker, which is good. We got a hedge wizard, and we get the Holy Wardens of Le Maison Tal, a legendary battle pilgrim unit. So what I think we're going to do, first off, we're going to look at King Lewin. I would love to get Bequi. Oh, it's so tempting. You know what? Usually I hold off on it, but Bequi is Bequi. We're getting the giant lion, chicken, eagle. Because it's awesome. Bequi is awesome. Don't look at me like that. Bequi is awesome. We'll make SAR-PC a little bit harder to hit. And Muffin, we're going to get you the legendary Regiment of Renown Holy Wardens of Le Maison Tal.
By the light of the lady.
And we don't want the king sitting in a city. We didn't want to do that either. But that'll keep them all nice and close.
You know who I am.
And then when Sar Phoenix gets down here, we can take on Sarsasone. We might even push down to the south a little bit more and wipe them out. Now they're at war with the Empire and with Paravon, because those are our allies. Paravon doesn't want to seem to join up with us. The corruption is a big deal. We'll be dealing with that as we go along. But that's the start of the war against these guys. Aquitaine? We could get a tap room there. But I think we'll go with Fields just for the extra income.
Lord and hero.
Leaves us with about $1,000 to play with. And Chaplain is still recruiting his questing knights. So I think we can just pass it off to the other nations, and then we can go siege Castle Sarcesson and get it back in Bretonnian hands, kick Talia out of Bretonnia, possibly swing around and deal with the others. I don't remember if the Skaven clan Scryer was wiped out or not. If they were wiped out, then we don't really have to worry about the Ratkin around the bend. If they weren't, well, it could be a different story. And just a little tacit fact, a lot of the nations within Warhammer are semi-based on like 1400s era real-world nations. The Empire is obviously Britain and Germany and all that sort of stuff during the Black Powder Age. Bretonnia is France during the height of chivalry. Talia is basically Italy during that same general time period. That only really holds true for human nations, by the way. The Tomb Kings are obviously based off of the Egyptians, the vampire counts are vampire mythos, elves are elves. You got your 3 different flavors, even though there's a lot more than that, technically speaking. If you're looking at fantasy as a whole, there's a lot more. And that was a massive counterattack by the vampires. And of course the Lizardmen are Aztecs, Ratmen are Ratmen, and Dwarves are Dwarves. Fantasy mixed with some real-world parallels. Kislev is the Russian Tsars. I wonder if Talia is actually going to go after Paravon. Because if that army stack isn't in Castle Sarcesson, then we kind of have an advantage to slip in and do some damage there.
Protector of the realm.
Well, the big thing right now is to keep these armies together. Ooh, it is. It's still there. That's out of reinforcement range from the city. Of course, Lord Phoenix, we want to get you down here as quickly as possible, too. And we can send you out to sea and deal with some of the other stuff. We might go after Bibali, Magritta. This is where Skaven Blight is. So, it's possibly something we can look at in the future. Brionne's got 6 turns before it has to deal with a rebellion. We've got a fair number of troops. And they're trying to recruit more right now, but we can hit them before that becomes a major issue.
My blade is ready.
And we can summon the Green Knight. We might just have to do that and throw it into Muffin's army, probably. And help that out that way. There is a shipwreck off the coast here.
Very well, if you insist.
So Chaplain, go after that and grab it. So we could use some extra cash right now. And again, there's not much we can push forward with right now. We got to focus on the war with Talia. It's unfortunate that it's another force of order that we have to take on. Alright, so that's where Karl Franz was going, was to Bakoven. It's way up in the north. It's actually one of Vlad von Karstein's capture-it cities for his quest line. I think it's not for the ring, I think it's for his sword. Incidentally, the whole power behind the bat in that case is his magic ring, which got stolen, then got given back to him, and then Age of Sigmar happened, and we don't talk about Age of Sigmar. It's like the very worst aspects of Fight Club. Only Fight Club was good. Then I'm breaking the first 2 rules of Fight Club. Great movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it yet, go! It's awesome! It's right up there with the Boondock Saints, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yes, I like my B-list movies. Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Cabin in the Woods. The original, not the remake. I like cheesy movies. I know they're cheesy movies going into it. I'm never really disappointed. But they have their own charm and wit to them. Some of them have straight up cult following. Rocky Horror Picture Show being one of those. Little Shop of Horrors, you know, all those kind of things. It's kind of fun. There's something about sitting back after you've come back from a road trip or a long day of work or anything like that, putting on a cheesy movie and just laughing your butt off. Slapshot movies are good for that too. And it also brought the phrase foiling up to pretty much young guys and girls' dressing rooms for hockey everywhere. If you don't get that, go watch Slapshot, and you'll understand. Alright, so we now have the Winter Woes Decree. We can get the Northgard Decree. Since we might be sending Chaplain up there to deal with them, let's keep going with that. And it'll give us the Ruinous Power Decree. Well, it'll unlock it for us. I don't know what else they have in there. But King Lewin's army is fairly significant. So we'll start the siege.
Very well, I go.
Get Chivalroy over there and get him to encamp.
Leaving.
Get young Lord Muffin in. Get him to encamp.
Protector of the realm.
Ride, Phoenix, ride! Push your army as hard as it can go to get down there and help out. We're going to need to upgrade one of the buildings in this place and get a tap room in. Not too long from now. Which is where a chaplain going out to sea kind of comes into all of this.
Going forth.
Hopefully we get some cash out of it. Well, Gambler's armor isn't bad. Let's just check our lords. He's got the Curious of Fortune. His attack's better with the Curious. Chivalroy we don't really need to worry about, because he has a Talisman of Endurance on, which is fairly good. Lewin's going to have some other stuff coming up, so our PC doesn't need it. Let's give the Gambler's armor to Phoenix. And Muffin can get a Charm Shield. We'll give you a Sword of Strife. City in Lodestone. And look at that, we have some banners and stuff. I always forget to go through the lords on my own playthroughs to add all that stuff in. How many turns can they last out? 8 turns before they're under full siege. And what are the odds looking like right now? Well, if they come out to fight us, that'll be a big, big battle. But it's going to have to happen next week, guys. So, that's going to have to do it. Because I'm strapped for time, unfortunately. So if you liked the video, guys, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, possibly pop up in this or other Let's Plays, or to join me in Fallout 76, which I'm still working through the beta. and it's different, but I'm still going to keep putting up my opinions and thoughts on it. Just hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes out. But remember guys, life is a game, so play to win. And until next time, take care.